90-day fiance. I've been gone. I'm sorry, but this season is not as great as I hoped it to be. So I'm going to do a brief synopsis up until now, just so y'all can say I'm being consistent somewhat. Jovi and Yara. Yara came over from Russia, of course. Jovi has a really good job, apparently, doing some micro something something. Is it microbiotics? Or some kind of water. I don't know what his real job is, but he does something special where he's going for a 2-week period and then he's back. Yara finds out that she's pregnant and she is not, she automatically turns into, I'm 8 months pregnant. I can't do shit without you. I understand it's a big task to come from another country and then your man leaves for 2 weeks. You're home alone in an apartment by yourself, a country by yourself, and you've only spent a week and a half with him, so you don't really know much. Thank God she speaks English and can figure stuff out. But they find out she's pregnant. How convenient. They're still together to this day because there are pictures on the internet. They had a baby and they're still together. It's a little girl. I don't understand how, I'm writing notes, sorry. I don't understand how yes, they've traveled a lot. Yes, they've been talking for a couple years, but there's still a gap in time. Not to say everybody's a cheater, because everybody's not a cheater, but you just had sex with him raw, got pregnant, or didn't think you could get pregnant. I never understand that. How do you think But moving on. Jovi's not ready to be a father. He said to her, like, really, you serious? You lying? He literally made her take 2 tests and go to the doctor. Who lies that they're pregnant like that? But, well, I guess that sounds stupid because people from another country. Whatever. She's pregnant. She instantly becomes a disabled veteran and she can't do shit. Jovi likes to drink all day, every day. She picked him up from the airport one early morning. He had a beer and he doesn't have a problem with how he drinks. She does because she goes, Jovi, you're having a baby. You can't be drunk like this all the time. Jovi. Okay. Then they have to get married because the time is winding down. Her mom can't come. His mom wants a big wedding. Yara doesn't want a wedding. She wants just to be them two and that's it. His mom is upset. She's trying to find a dress. They find a dress. They move on. Like this is play me the fiddle. I don't know. She's very controlling / whiny. That's usually not a good combination, but Jovi doesn't seem to care. He loves her, whatever. Zieds and Rebecca, I love you so much. Rebecca, baby, I love you much. It's so beautiful. That's how he sounds. That's about 5 sentences that he knows. So they move into this loft. Rebecca finally gets the furniture into the loft. Zied, she got him a video game system. He met her family, her daughter, her husband, and her son. They're not here for the bullshit. They're like, yeah, no, we don't trust them because it's the exact same thing that happened with your other ex-husband, who's also Moroccan. She has a history of doing the same thing. Zied, of course, he can't work. She's working another job. That's a longer day. So he's home all day playing video games. Then Zied tells her, listen, mama, we got to get married before Ramadan because we can't live in the same house and not be married during the month of Ramadan. And she's like, so you're holy for this month, but then the other 11 months out of the year, you're not? Because we clearly having sex and, you know, in the Muslim culture, you're not supposed to be doing any of that until you get married. So I'm like, damn, Rebecca, you told him. But he's like, well, can I stay with your daughter, Tiffany? I'm like, wait a minute. Didn't last episode you say it wasn't right for you to be in another house with a woman who is not your fiance or your girlfriend? Like, how are you going to just stay at her daughter's house? Like, okay. But she's like, basically, no, you can't stay there because they're moving and they don't like you. So she's like, well, I'm not ready to get married. Of course, she acquiesces. She gets married and they're going to get married. And the week before Ramadan, but that's when COVID starts. So the courts are shut down and they have to figure out how to maneuver with how Zied wants it to maneuver. Her daughter is like, Mom, you don't think he knew that he would have to get married before Ramadan? When he moved here, he never said anything about it. And she's like, Rebecca, you too old. Like, I don't know how old time fools work. Like, again, I'm logical. I don't understand the nonsense that goes on in their head. Is love really that blind? Like, I've been married 20 years, and when we was dating, I don't think I was blind. I was in love because it's the whole newness of it all. But at the same time, it's like you still know who you are. You still think about dumb shit. I know everyone is not the same. I know everyone does not think the same. I get it. But I guess, again, this is just me. So maybe that's why I have a really hard time, because it just doesn't make sense. So make it make sense to me of how people can be so stupid, especially when so much is on the line. So much is on the line. Natalie and Mike, she didn't have a ring up until a week ago. Mike was not here for her. He didn't want to do counseling. He told her what the problem was. She said there was no problem. He said there is a problem. They went around in circles. Mike finally gave her ring back. And she's one of those women, she seems like she wants that fairy tale. She wants Prince Charming. She wants the glass slipper. She wants everything dreamy. Mike is not that person. So she's like, I want the ring. I want the ring. Give me a ring, Michael. Give me a ring. So he hands it to her, and she's like, no, put it to me. You doing too much for somebody that's not his thing. And you're making him be uncomfortable every time you talk about this situation, because she has to get married. She has to get married. And he gives her the ring. They're going to get married. And then the night before, they blow off fireworks and, have a dinner with Uncle Bo with the missing 2 teeth. He got fangs, but no fronts. So Mike's uncle's teeth look like that. But he's a nice man. He's cool. And Natalie's very happy that everybody's around celebrating her. And she calls her friend Svetlana. She calls her mother. They can't come because of Corona. Everything is shut down. So she's still, wanting to be there. Get a Zoom call. Nobody know how to do Zoom or a group chat on like WhatsApp or something like that, so your family can still see you being married. Like, I know it's not the same, but at the same time, you can compensate. Now, we're going to go into Ryan and Harris and Stephanie. So Stephanie's the older woman that has all this money, that bought her young boyfriend all his watches and all his clothes and all these different things to like make him happy. She and him were having sex one night, and she was like, oh, get the lube. And he was like, for what? She didn't realize that he didn't put the condom on. I'm like, well, where was you? Like, back in the day when you would have sex with somebody and they pause to put the rubber on, don't you you don't look over real quick, or you just be like up here? Like, how does that work that you didn't know he didn't put a condom on? Stephanie was pissed off because she was like, I didn't trust you. If you don't trust this man, what are you doing in his country, giving him all these things and giving him ass if you don't trust him? Why? So he leaves. His mother is calling. His aunts are calling. Oh, where is Ryan? We haven't seen him. She gets worried, but not that worried because she calls his cousin Harris, who she slept with. His cousin. And Harris comes over, and her and Harris get to canoodling. And I'm like, how? She gets her psychic friend to do a reading for her and Harris, and the psychic friend says she believes Harris is the person for her. How? First it was, but moving on. So Harris and her sleep together. They're together, and Harris said, I get on a bus for 3 hours to come and be with her. Anytime she needs me, I come over and I help her out. How many times have you called Harris, Stephanie? I'm curious because, but okay, you do what you do. Tarik and Hazel, like, can we get married, Hazel, first? Like, Hazel wants to have a 3-way relationship with her, some other girl, and Tarik. But she doesn't want them to be tied because that's what Tarik likes. But she wants them to be somebody she likes. But it's like, so you can like them, but he don't have to like them, but he gonna be with y'all at the same time? Or are you going to have a relationship with just you and this girl and he going to be on the sidelines for later? Like, how do you want it to work, Hazel? So Tarik thinks it would be best that we call Minty, the other girl that they had a threesome with, but it didn't work out because Tarik was too into the other girl. And he's going to call Minty to get advice on what they're doing wrong. What the fuck would she know is wrong with how you're looking for another woman? And it ain't her. Why is it her business? Which means you've been talking to her. Which means Hazel is pissed. Tarik, that was a dumb move. And yeah, okay. So they go and meet Tarik's friend, and her friend, his best friend is a woman that Hazel knows, and she's like, no, I'm not going to be more biased against him because he's my friend, but I want to hear the whole scenario. She said, I told Tarik I don't want him talking to any woman, but then I found out he was talking to another girl that wasn't Minty. So you want him to be honest about what he's doing. You want him to find another woman, but you don't want to know about, like, it's too many different curved roads that don't equal out. They don't go to the same place. So I don't know how their relationship is going to work. Like, can we get married first and then figure out the rest later? Like, yeah, she want too much. So AMira and Andrew, I saved them for last because I'm concerned. Andrew has had this woman go to Mexico and she got detained for, I think it was like 3 days. And he finally gets out. She finally gets out and she gets sent back to France. She was traumatized because I cannot imagine what those centers look like. I cannot imagine because they have gotten horrible reputations of how dirty and filthy and no food and all that kind of stuff. And being from another country to get detained in another country and you don't speak the language, I can't imagine. And Andrew's like, oh, I'm beside myself, but he doesn't seem that bothered. But what can he do in the interim? Nothing. So he goes online and tries to find out how else can she get over to the States. He researches and finds out that she can go to Serbia. Serbia has never equated to paradise. Serbia has never equated to let me go to Serbia on vacation. Serbia hasn't said this is the land of the free. Never in history has anyone said, I'm going to Serbia on vacation. So she talks to her father. Her father's like, I don't think you should go. You're doing too much for him and he's not doing enough for you. No, but I love him, Daddy. I love him. I love Andrew so much and Andrew is the best thing for me. I love him. Whatever he said, I do because I love Andrew. That's how she sounds. So she goes to Serbia. She didn't get detained, fine. She makes it to the hotel, fine. She has to quarantine 14 days and then she can fly from there and come over to the States. They are rioting in Serbia. There are bottles being thrown in Serbia on the street. There are police cars all days and night in the street because of the virus shutting stuff down. There's no food or room service in Serbia. And Andrew has magically stopped calling her. What you won't do is talk to me and make me think that I'm doing something wrong because he's basically, he forces her, the way he words things, it makes her feel bad. Wouldn't make me feel bad. I'm staying in France till this shit is over with. We can still keep talking. But, you know, she is about to leave and go to the United States. She doesn't go. She goes back to her country because they got to talking about kids. And she goes, I don't know if you're father material. And I understand her concern. A father wouldn't have me in different countries. Now, hold on. That's not her father, but she's going off of his logic. You have the woman you love going to Mexico, going to Serbia, in detention centers just to be with you, but you haven't done anything but work at a daycare center and chill out in the house waiting for her to go through the mess. I know it's not ideal, but whatever. Oh, before I end this, let me tell y'all, if y'all watched the episode, watch it again. Harris has a wedding band tan on his finger. I don't think Stephanie knows that. He said he has a baby mother and he got 3 kids and she doesn't care about him and he doesn't care about her. We'll see how this plays out. Thanks for watching. Like, subscribe, ask questions. Did I miss something? Besides Brandon and Julia, who wear me out. Brandon doesn't care. Julia doesn't care. She wants to go back home. All right, now. And the mother's overbearing and the father's annoying. And they still work on the farm. Now what?